So you might just go 1 like this, and this would be a hadai, or you could come in and go 1, and you know he's going to block this, so then you go 1 like this. So you like make it all one big movement. Does that make sense? So you come here and you go 1, all the way down to this sunage, and you're like, I missed. And then you come back and he's open on the top, and you're like, oh, I'll get that instead. And he's like, oh, now he's open on the bottom, I'll get this instead. Right? It's, oh no, okay. All right, so then we'll come back to
We'll try again.
right? Does that make sense? So it allows for adaptation, creativity, sort of trying to understand this stuff. You have a bit of a model to go by. It doesn't mean that you need to stick to it. It means that you have something that you can use as an example, right? You can try to work through doing it the way it's supposed to be done, right? And that's fine. But at some point, you have to make changes and make things sort of help to work for yourself. Does that make sense? Right? So take a look at that. Like this. Boom, and then get him this way. So on. Right? This way. And straight in like that. Okay? Like this. Okay? So slowly this comes in, kind of comes Yoko Menuchi, and then he's coming this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back here and just let it glide past me. Just like that, just a little bit. So that I can get to behind his bow earlier than he can get to me. So this comes 1, 2, like that. Then boom. Okay? Let's try. Match to this. And actually I think you should. You should try it. Comes 1, 2, and then kind of back off a little bit. Try that. You know? This comes just 1, 2, like that. And then, you know, leave it there. Kind of back up in like it's called zanshin. Zanshin just means sort of get ready for the next movement. Okay? Because this one is sort of predicated on understanding this. This one that we're doing now. This is predicated on understanding. Right? So this comes in. 1, 2. You know, it's hard to understand this without first understanding what this is. Make sense? It comes in. 2. This way. You know, and this is tricky too, right? 1, 2. This way. It's tricky to like sort of get in there with like, you know, like whatever the you're supposed to go like this. And see if you can get, you know, kind of solid in that. Try that.
There you go.
Oh,
It's basically almost like that same sort of like oh.
He comes in and goes, whoa, like this. Then he comes in and like this. 1, 2, like this. That's it. 1, 2. What's interesting is, I think you should understand this. I'm not trying to stop him. I would lose that. What I'm trying to do is create a fence. What I'm trying to do is create a fence. That's it. I'm not trying to stop him. I won't be able to. He's got the space. He's got the momentum. He's got the bigger weapon. I just went behind it. Just like in the fist. Boom. Break the wrist. Because now I have a short space, and there's my target. Does that make sense? So this comes in. There it is. Does it make sense? See how it's similar but different? Different but similar? It's important to understand these. So you can't, it's not the same, but it's not totally different. Okay? Not totally different. Right? So now it's almost like it makes total sense. Where you're like, whoa! This! Oops, right? Whoa! Right? This way. Okay? It's almost like it makes it go, whoa! Boom! Straight behind it. Boom. This way. Bang! Bang! Does it make sense? 1, 2. This way. Boom. Yep. Or bang! Right? You can see the potential for this stuff. It's important to understand the differences so that you can see the similarities. Boom. Okay? Does that make sense? Let's try it. When you come to the other side, the tips just go straight down. Right behind it.
Oh, okay.
So it just goes boom.
Yeah,
So you're already in this position.
you're already there.
You're already there. And then boom. And all you got to do is just that little rotation.
So don't think of like trying to move it. So let's
Don't look at
So when
the
this comes in,
snap.
right?
Yeah.
Don't look at the snap.
Right?
You gotta
Yes.
look.
I'm not trying to like push it away. I'm just it's like set pitch, right? So now I'm giving you this. I'm like
And make up the difference.
What are you gonna go for like something
There you go.
right?
Much
Or
better.
like so when you make that transition, right? Then from here, right? Let it pass through though. I'm here. And I go here. See how you close the space? Right. So you're not gonna win this. If we're going head to head, you're not gonna win
Yeah.
this.
It's not a lot of space. It's not a lot of grace.
So you have to take
Not a lot
that
of
into
Have
consideration.
space between
So like,
stick and name. So
when it comes in, right? See, I'm not trying to stop this, but it's like it's gonna pass through this space.
Nice.
Okay?
Good. Come on, Michaela.
So now when you take this next one,
Nice. Okay, switch.
so don't try to stop and think of like, how can I move this so I can get in?
you like some people cry.
Make sense?
Got it.
I want to do it on the other side.
Yeah. There
You're
you
gonna
go.
get behind it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's less resistance. Otherwise, you're like trying to stop this with
Which I
that.
can't, yeah.
Right. I mean, if you were closer, you could, but because we're
Okay,
stuck
so
at this
the
distance and I've got
management
all
space
this
that we talked
space to
about
build all this momentum, you
what
can't
we're
just
doing
go.
right now is we're really talking about this.
You have to like, you have to
It's
negate
kind of
my
like,
space, and that's how you do it. Okay?
Alignment is a little bit different.
Yeah.
We're talking about engagement. So when this comes in, he comes in, whoa, like this.
Relax a little bit.
And now,
This
what
is
I'm doing
conversation,
is I'm
right?
forcing you to
talk
make a
so you
choice.
don't say everything you have to say,
My
and then you say
movement,
go.
my position,
It's
I'm
like
like,
this.
whoa, like this. I'm forcing you
So
to
it's
make
the
a
same thing.
choice.
When this comes in,
So when he makes that choice,
Now, when this
whoa,
comes in,
like this.
the next one comes in, I'm not gonna sit here
Okay.
and go,
See that?
before you can go.
You can
Right?
make
It's
other
back and
choices.
forth, so it's
But
you know.
if I go boom, like this, and I go whoa, like this, yes. Right? And I can open that up in a different way. Make sense? Yes. So my point is that like if you trust too much in the kata to sort of teach you how the right way to do it,
Conversation.
yeah, it's never gonna work.
There's two people participating.
The kata is
It's
not
not just
reliable.
participating, you're lecturing.
Right.
Makes sense?
It's just not reliable. Cool. So you have to have a good sense of like what the outcome of this needs to be, right? And the outcome is always fairly obvious. In other
A
words,
big part of that is
you need to be able to strike without getting struck.
while you're moving, what is your opponent doing?
And if you can strike without getting
If you
struck,
find yourself doing three
You're doing
things
something pretty
while the
good.
person's standing still,
right?
it's no good.
Or somebody's not being honest. Right? It's one or the other.
A lot of situations, someone
Either
gonna
your
just
partner's
stand
dishonest
still while I'm doing
training,
all this stuff.
or you're doing all right.
So that's where the conversation part comes in.
So
When you
when
move,
this comes in,
they're gonna move in response to you.
run like this, go like
That's
this.
consideration.
That's okay too, because you can move in, whatever, get into that space, that kind of thing. But you need to like, sort of follow that out.
Nice.
You need to sort of
See,
think,
like, when
how do I
was a
move?
kid, like, pass
You know?
out. That's the feeling.
And don't worry about
Because
so
when
much.
I'm in this state of taking
You know,
that
but
step,
how do I move and strike without getting struck, or do the thing without
I'm
getting
in mid-move right now.
struck, or without getting stopped?
You know, it's a weird feeling.
Yeah, the conversation about
That's good. It's better for. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you don't want to get hit, so it's like that's all right. You know,
Exactly, and
kind
that's
of
how you do it. 'Cause
escapist
otherwise it's just like you said,
aspect. That's
I'm
good.
here. Now you go down.
I've been
That's
working
not
on
how it
hitting
works. You have to leave it in its place where they think
It
it's
takes
so
time.
sustainable.
Especially
That's
when
what
we're
ends
supposed to
up
be standing
feeling
on
like drop
really
it.
hard.
no, it's not.
Like, yeah, like this. See if that gives you a clearer sense of this, right? Because you had these other things where you're like, oh, like, does this give you a clearer sense? Now, if working with the smaller weapon, the shorter weapons, where you didn't have as much room, you didn't have as much space to work with, and now you've got more. See if this assists you. Do you feel more confident? Like, you know, can you make changes here? Can you go, I can make changes with that. Not quite the same, but it's effective. Okay? So this is the point, where you feel more confident with doing this stuff because you're sort of working in a broader sense, you know, with a broader array. So try it with the bow. Like this. It's always like a reverse high grip, boom, kind of a thing. But that's kind of the difference. Yoko Men, whereas Yoko Men Sunichi was a faster, hit. The transitions from eyes. Yeah, nice. Nice. Yeah, really good. A little bit more space. Once you've got it, you can afford it.
You can never have too much space.
Yeah, it's like you can afford it.
Better to have it and not need it
Just
than
don't
to
hit
need
the
it and
wall.
not have it.
Yeah.
Right?
So you really use it as a
Nice.
keep away. So
Yeah, very good.
no,
Cool.
just tip it over.
Where did you get this?
That was custom made.
So this is, you know.
I couldn't
My guys.
Oh, that's gotta be more.
No, I waited.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I waited for the demo. Yeah.
Oh, and it's exactly the
Wow.
same.
Wow, nailed it.
Right.
So I waited that morning, and you're like, oh, it's just like 20 minutes. And you're like, really? Like at the stage, like, really?
On arm training. And this is another point. And you need to be able to see, again, the differences, which are apparent, and the similarities, which are sometimes not. Those are what you need to find. Those are the things that you need to, you know, cluster around, right? So when you understand how to load and unload a weapon, you should understand how to unload and unload the body, right? And this is the point. It's like being able to sort of transfer that information from one to the other. Super important, especially if you want to understand your own movement. And again, it doesn't have to be this big train of movements and techniques, kata, blah, blah, blah. It could be one thing or two things. You know, like we did earlier. We started from, you know, in the Shizendo Kamae and loading one side so that we could drop out the other. You know, that asymmetric movement. Not symmetric movement, not symmetric movement like that or whatever. That's not worth doing. Asymmetric. Understand where to load, unload, how to move. That creates alignment. Right? That creates alignment. The symmetry stuff just creates confusion because it's weak on all sides. It doesn't have, it doesn't have a resilient structure to it. Right? So that's a problem. The material that you work with is important. Okay? Even if you weave something together, if you weave it together with something that's not a resilient material or not made resilient, that's not going to hold up, right? You make a basket out of paper and it gets wet, guess what? You know, the basket is ruined, right? It's going to just rip apart. So this is my point, is that you have to understand this stuff, you know, from the outside in at the beginning, and then eventually from the inside out, right? Or else you can't play golf, right? You take your buddy golfing, and you go, let's go golfing. He's never golfed before, and you go, let's go golfing. He's great. And you get out there, and he goes and hit the ball, and you go, wait. Straighten that back leg. And he goes, oh, wait. You know, put your neck down. Make sure you get that. Okay, and then after like 10 of those, he can't hit the ball at all because he's so worried about doing all the things right and getting his form correct that he can't do anything. Well, guess what? You're not playing golf.
He's probably not going to play golf with you again.
And he's probably never going to come back. Right? So you let them go out there and hit the ball. Get him out there and hit the ball. And then he sees you do it. Whack! And it's like, wait a minute. What are you doing? Oh, well, you know, I straighten that back leg a little bit. Oh, okay. So he tries that. So you go from that outside introduction, eventually kind of de-engineering it, reverse engineering it in a sense, to work the inside. You know, otherwise it's just a nightmare. People can't do it. You know. Okay.
Yep.
You have fun? We had a good time. I hope this was.
Really interesting.
Yeah, I hope this was.